The pandemic tried to slow us down and quiet us. Industry thought leaders like Josh and I never stopped connecting because we believe in the power of digital to grow our brands and ultimately our businesses. I'm Rich Malachy, CEO of Malachy Parts and Service, founder of the Fed Group, and an advocate for all of you. The food equipment service industry has evolved, but its digital presence as a whole has lagged behind. For the last 4 years, I've been putting out massive amounts of content consistently that has paid off in sales and relationships, that has created opportunities I never knew existed. Kind of how I'm here today, about to speak on the stage.
According to our influences growing up, Rich and I are not supposed to be here. We were not supposed to have found success in the skilled trades, we were not supposed to be advocating for the industry, and we were not supposed to be up on this stage talking to you about it. Yet, here we are. I'm Josh Zolin, the CEO of Windy City Equipment, author of Blue's the New White, podcast host, and challenger of what used to be. I got here first by putting in the work, then by showcasing that work across digital platforms and social media outlets, and then reaping the benefits in the form of growth, expansion, profits, and relationships. Listen, we all know the only true constant in this world is change, and our only hope is to adapt. And today, for the first time ever, Rich and I come together on stage to give you the blueprint of our success. So pay attention. Your future and the future of our beautiful industry might just depend on it.
Killed it. What's up? My brother. So, first time we're on stage together.
First time, can you believe it? You guys have seen us everywhere online probably, right? Just never on the stage.
Yep, so
disclaimer. A little context here, all right? You all know that Rich is in Jersey, I'm here in Phoenix, you know, and when Heather asked us to speak on stage together, we said, absolutely, no problem. Didn't even think about it. And then we realized that we really couldn't rehearse because we're on opposite ends of the country. So I've given that disclaimer to a couple of you already today that have come up and said, hey, have a great talk. Can't wait to see you speak. But it is absolutely the truth. We got a chance to rehearse like one time yesterday. So everything you're going to hear today is straight from the heart, shot from the hip, from the gut, whatever happens.
Yeah, because
right?
I forget everything we said yesterday. So
oh, God. We don't remember a word of it.
We joke how we come up here, we black out, and then someone has to tell us what we said. So, ready to black out?
Let's black out, man. So what's the point, right? Why are we here? Why did Heather ask us to come talk to you guys today about digital marketing? Why is it so important? Well, listen, 3 years ago, I used to say that digital marketing was the future of marketing. That was 3 years ago. Guys, now it's today. It's now. It's right now. So that's the main point, right? But the beautiful thing about it is that everybody's point is a little bit different. Rich is going to talk about some things today. I'm going to talk about some things today. You know, but ultimately, you're going to have to find what works best for you. We're going to start with the obvious. Marketing has always been about exposure, right? How many eyeballs can you get on your business? How many? And where are they? Yellow pages?
1981.
Magazines?
99.
Billboards?
Before we were born. Come on. I was looking at billboards. Like 1970-something.
It's online, right? It's the internet. That's where you have the most eyeballs. And not only is it the most eyeballs, but it's ones that you can control. It's the ones that you can target. This is no longer the future. This is now. And the point is to expose your business, right? And that also leads into the reputation. Everybody here is proud of what they do. Come on, tell me how proud you are, right? You're proud. We're all proud.
That's why you're here.
That's it. That's why you're here. That's why we're all here. And social media and digital marketing is a way to showcase that. It's a way to strengthen that reputation, right? It's a way to say to the world, we're good at what we do. Come see.
That's it. And that's what branding is. Branding is reputation.
That's it. That's your reputation.
What we put out into the digital world is us. You know, it's led us to this stage. It's led us to opportunities we didn't know exist. And we have the obligation, I think, to the industry, to our companies, to keep that reputation in good standing. If you're not online, in the trenches, putting up the video, engaging, putting up the content, you're not part of the conversation, and you can't change the narrative. It's being written for you.
It's a good way to put it, Rich. We didn't rehearse that at all.
No, I don't know where that came from.
So, what happens when you strengthen your reputation? For those of you in here that don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, you also strengthen something else. You also strengthen your valuation. Because the value of your business is not just based on your profits. It's based on your reputation. It's based on how many people actually enjoy picking up the phone and calling you, right? Or seeing your content, in our case. Right? So it's very interesting what 1 point, as far as a multiple of EBITDA, can do for your business. You're talking thousands, if not millions of dollars by the time you're ready for an exit. And social media and digital marketing is a surefire way to do that. The obvious thing, sales. How can this translate into sales?
Profit.
Profit.
That's it.
I want to take a poll here and see how many people can guess over the last 4 years how much of my company revenue I can attribute to one platform, LinkedIn. Do we have any guesses? $4
Close.
on the nose.
Close.
Right there. $7 million. $7 million just from LinkedIn alone. This is not YouTube. This is not Instagram. This is not Facebook. This is not TikTok. This is not any other platform. This is just LinkedIn. Okay, so if that doesn't tell you the power of what we're about to talk about today, I don't know what will. So I don't know if I should drop the mic or just hand it over, Rich.
Yeah, no, and I want to just touch on the valuation because we're here to talk about profit. I mean, because that's kind of that's what this was about, how to translate into profit. And, you know, I don't know if I have 7 million ways, but, you know, there's different things that have occurred, from installations that come through LinkedIn, through a national chain account that we have that equates to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Recently, you know, I've made an announcement about an acquisition. You know, me and Josh were talking about that. I don't believe that they would have probably even reached out to me or thought of me had I not been pumping out content. And they're seeing what we're doing in our business. They're seeing how we're treating our employees. They're seeing how we're adding technology. You know, and the owner wanted to leave it in hands that was going to build that legacy and continue it on. Now, that might equate to millions if I do it right. I don't know. New York City's a big market.
Has yet to be seen.
Yet to be seen.
Now, let's give a round of applause for Rich, man. That was huge, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Power of social media, man.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is something that I think, if you watch my videos, I don't know if you watch our videos, but if you do, we talk a lot about community. We talk a lot about that, you know, over on the Fed group and Facebook. Talk about community. This is a community. And, you know, we were talking again about yesterday in the YPC meeting and, the marketing committee meeting. Talking about, we want Cefesa to be known. You know, right? We're sitting there with Charlie and Nick Cribb. And we're saying, how do we get them to be known? We want the culinary students to know who Cefesa is. We want the restaurants we work with to know who Cefesa is. We want it to be beyond the membership. You have to build a community. You have to make them care. It's not going to just happen. So there's got to be consistency. And I know Patty, with Partstown, we were talking about you have to do it over time so you can measure it, and you have to do it over and over again. 4 years ago, I started this Facebook group. It took 4 years to get almost 1,000 people in there caring about it. It was amazing. I walked in, I'm seeing people wearing some of the shirts that we have in our store. You know, original member and all this stuff. I mean, that's community. That's what this is. People want to rally around something they believe in. The people in this room are here for a reason. They've been coming here for 20, 30, 40 years for a reason. There's already a community. Now it's time we start getting really loud together. It's got to be collective. It can't just be me and him out there putting videos out, showing what we're doing.
Lonely, guys. We want some company.
Yeah. The relationships are everything. We were talking about that too.
Yeah.
People are the currency.
Yeah.
That's how business goes down. It's not just our industry, it's any industry. But building these relationships, the person next to you might have the next big opportunity. Maybe they don't know you. All these new timers here, it's amazing that all the new timers, I've never seen this many. These people need to know who you are. They might not know. I bet you if you were putting video out over the last 365 days and they walked in this room, they might recognize you. That might be the reason to spark that conversation. And it creates opportunities that you just never knew existed. I never wanted to be on this stage. Right? My mother is in shock right now. She's like, you're going to get up in front and talk to people? You didn't talk till you were 23. And I'm like, yeah. Right? I was scared to death. I didn't open my mouth. Teachers will call on home. They're like, is everything okay? But yeah, I mean, and here we are now. And it's passion. It's passion for the industry. It's passion for the people. This industry gave me everything. I feel we have a responsibility to let the next generation know. It's much bigger than just putting video out. Much bigger.
I'm on episode 108 now of the podcast. That's 108 different people, different relationships that I've been able to build just through digital marketing, just through digital media. And I see a lot of people in the audience today who have been on my show and who have come up to me. I can't even tell you how many people have come up to me and said, hey, it's great to finally meet you in person. In person. This is the day and age that we live in. Right? It's unbelievable. You know what? Let's take a poll real quick here.
Yes, I like that.
You want to do this?
Do it.
All right. Stand up if you've seen any of my YouTube videos or my podcast. Stand up.
Wow.
All right. How about Riches?
Have you seen Fired Up?
Stand up.
Have you watched any Fired Up
Fired
live
up.
episodes?
Who in here is in the Fed group? Unbelievable. Look around you. We're just two people.
Pretty amazing.
We're just two people. Imagine if we all did this. What would the industry look like in 5 years? 10 years? Probably be caught up to the rest of the world. So, you're going to ask me, what does it look like? How do we achieve this? How do we do this? That's why we're up here talking to you, and that's what you've come here to understand. So, I'm here to tell you that I know what your excuse is. I just don't have the time. I've heard it 1,000 times. I don't have the time, right? Well, it's not a time issue, guys. It's a priority issue. That's what we're looking at here. It's a priority issue. I'm going to talk all about that later. I'm going to make a ton of you feel really bad about yourselves, but it'll be fine because it's all in good spirit. All right? But listen, it's about starting small. Like anything else in life, you don't have to jump right into what me and Rich are doing. You don't have to jump right into doing a podcast or having a video series or what did you do 2 years ago? 365 videos? A video a day?
Video a day.
You don't have to do that.
Yes,
right?
they do.
You have to just do something, right? Ask a question. Put out an opinion, a thought. Post a picture. People love pictures of you smiling or of your teammates smiling. Just post a picture, but the secret sauce is in the consistency. It's in the consistency like anything else in life. I don't care if it's once a week, once every other week, or once a month. Your audience needs to expect when you're going to put out that content, right? So that's going to lead me into a little story. Most of you know that I have a decently successful YouTube channel in this specific industry. So this is going to be the first time I actually share how that came about publicly. So back in 2013, and this is not a plug, but I read a book by Gary Vee called Thank You Economy. And this is before I was really doing much online, but it really struck a chord with me because it went into what Rich just talked about with relationships, right? How to develop relationships and then turn that into profit. So I figured, what the hell, right? I'll give it a shot. So I called up one of my customers one day, and I said, hey, listen, I'll give you a free PM if you let me come in at 3 o'clock in the morning and just film everything that I do. And of course, they heard free. I had them at free. So I got in there at 3 o'clock, right? I spent probably about 5 hours shooting a bunch of videos. We must have done 50 videos. And I'm talking simple, right? Stuff that we take for granted, but the general public doesn't really know about, like how to reset a breaker, how to reset a GFI, how to remove a top grate from a stovetop, right? I mean, just easy maintenance stuff that people don't know about, right? But this was content. So videos anywhere from 1 minute long to 7 minutes long, depending on how in-depth. Shot 50 videos, went back, did some editing, minor, basic editing, right? So spent another 5 hours doing that. Had about 10 total hours invested. So what did I do? I put those on YouTube, but I scheduled one a week for a year. I didn't do anything else for a year. What happened in that year was unbelievable. From 10 hours of work, 10 hours invested, I had people reaching out to me from all over the world to thank me for what I was doing, to ask me questions, to offer me advice, to work for me, to buy from me. And I didn't have to do anything except spend 10 hours to shoot 50 videos. So what did I do? I did it again after a year and shot like 200 videos, you know, and it's the same thing. But the second part to that is what we really want to focus on, right? And I'm going to let Rich talk on this part because he's the master at it, right? He accomplished in 4 years what took me 8 years to accomplish. So once I started putting out those videos and these people started reaching out, there was another obligation on my end. I had to nurture these relationships, these newfound relationships, because that's what they are. They're not just typed words on a screen. There's actually a person behind it, believe it or not. So I had to nurture these relationships and engage. I had to reach back. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. What can I help you with? I appreciate your advice. Thank you. Simple little things, but it's in the engagement. Rich?
In the engagement. And just to touch too, because there's been a lot of talk too about, you know, I know there's logistics problems going on in the industry. There's labor shortages, technicians. You know, when you prioritize things, you know, people often ask me, how are you finding new technicians? How are you finding new employees? Of course, there's Indeed. There's you know, there's the old ways of doing things. Maybe you put something in a local paper still. I don't know. I mean, there's different ways. But for me, it's been the priority of the video content we've been putting out, of showing what our company does, what they offer, the people of it. People are calling us and saying, hey, Rich, you know, I love the videos. I'd love to come and sit and talk with you. I want to see what you're up to. I want to see what you guys really have to offer. It has been probably, you know, the single most valuable tool that we've put out, you know, and Lisa, you know, helped me shoot that video, the 4 reasons why you want to be a Malachy Cares Tech, right? And we just kept running it and running it. Some paid advertisements, some different things, and it's out there every day. I probably come up in people's feeds. There's probably people that are sick of seeing my face. Sorry. But, right. So, but, no, and then leading into the engagement, I mean, because this is an important piece of even what I'm just talking about putting that video out and finding new talent, because it's real. But you have to care about the people that are taking time out of their day to make a comment under your video or post. Think about how busy we are. Do you really just go out of your way to make a comment unless you really care about what that post is about or what that video and that content is about? You don't. So when someone says it, I challenge anybody to find me not replying to a comment. Well, maybe I missed one or two, right? But I mean, I am locked and loaded all day long. It's a priority to me. I'm building a brand. I'm building a business. There's real dollars that equate. So again,
it's all who you know, right?
Who you know.
So you know. You know, fun fact, I'm pretty sure our relationship started by one of us commenting on somebody else's video.
Yeah, you're a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you were like, hey, you are too. We should be best friends.
Yeah. And now we're the 2 best friends that anyone could have. Here we are. Right? But that's how it happened. I mean, so many people in this room too. I don't know where Roger Smelser. There's Roger. How would we have really known each other or met? Thank God we met this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been like a mentor to both of us. I mean, it's amazing. And there's other people in this room that have, you know, reached out on LinkedIn and said, hey, Rich, you know, I really love what you're doing. And also, I got an install I want you to, I mean, there's just so many things that can equate from being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, a lot of disruption talk. Maybe you have to disrupt your own world and break through the wall like they talked about earlier today. This is a wall you have to break through. A lot of people are scared of that camera. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are scared. Not a weapon. I promise.
Here's a test. Rich, are you scared of the camera?
No. A little bit.
Yeah. All right. No, the point is, though, because I still get nervous in front of the camera. I mean, you
Of
should have
course.
seen us before we got on stage here. We're still blacked out, so it's fine right now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but before we got on stage, I mean, we couldn't even see straight, you know? I mean, this stuff, it's not supernatural. Sure, it comes natural to some people, but maybe not everybody, right? But we do it anyway. That's the thing. That's the difference between, you know, and that's the definition of courage, right? Being afraid and doing it anyway. And that's what we do.
What we do. It's not easy. You know, I know there's probably, I mean, I could be controversial at times, you know, and I, you know, sometimes I'm funny, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes there's education. Sometimes there's a lot of different things that go into, you know, the strategy that we put forth. I mean, we're not doing this, nothing's by chance. And, you know, going back to, you know, the engagement, you know, adding to these conversations, gaining the valuable feedback that you're going to get from the audience. These are your people. These could be your potential customers. These could be your potential manufacturer partnerships. They could be your potential best friends. You just don't know where you're going to land, but that's the whole point.
Yeah. So that brings it back to me, right? I'm going to talk about your most common excuse to any of this. I have no time.
How'd you know?
We're best friends. I have no time. How many of you have said that when somebody says you need to be online? Yeah, you're not going to admit it. I'm not even going to ask you to raise your hands. That's okay. But it's not a time issue, right? It's a priority issue. So once you can prioritize this and understand that this is real business today in 2021, you'll be in a much better spot. So a couple of thoughts on time, right? First and foremost, there are tools out there to help you with this. You know, I think, Rich, you probably use a lot more of these than I do, but like Hootsuite, right?
Yep.
Hootsuite, there's
We'll talk about
scheduling
those.
tools.
Yep.
There's things that help you organize, so you're not trying to jump around from platform to platform to platform. You can organize it, schedule it, you know, and do it that way. So that's number one. But number two, I challenge anybody here, going back to what I said before, of starting small and being consistent. It only takes 5 minutes just to get started. You know, I'm not talking about where Rich and I are at now, where, you know, Lisa's over here with a fancy camera and she's doing hours and hours of editing behind the scenes. You're not there yet, right? But when you start, it only takes 5 minutes. Post something. What are you doing at night? What are you doing when you get home? You watching Netflix? You just relaxing, hanging out? Take 5 minutes to better your business, because that's what it takes. And here's the thing. Once you do it, once you start it, once you're consistent with it, then you can start to justify it because you're going to be able to quantify it. All right, I'm going to repeat that again. Once you quantify, you can justify. Once you start seeing that ROI, you're going to say to yourself, why didn't I listen to these guys sooner? Why didn't I do this before?
Yeah.
Because it's real.
It's real. It's real. It's so real. You know, and talking about the time, and over the years, so many people have said they have no time. Where's TJ Coker? Has no time. Oh, right there. You have time. You know, there's plenty of time. We all have, like I said, we all get those 24 hours, and it's so crucial when you're trying to build something and you're trying to get close to the customer. You know, I think the brands, whether you're a small business, a big business, I think the brands that get closest to the customer at the end is going to win. The ones that tell their stories and connect are going to win. And I'll even give another example of what we saw yesterday. Caroline, I don't know, is Caroline in the room? Myanmar? There she is. You gave an amazing, inspiring speech yesterday, and I didn't know any of that. And then I saw you kiss your dad on the head, on the back, and I was like, oh man, I had a tear in my eye. I'm like, because it's family business stuff. And my sister used to play Office. I used to have to, I was the customer. I had to go in and buy stuff. I was like 15. I was like, can I buy a notepad? She was like, yeah. And she loved cash registers too. She was. But these are the things that connect us.
Yeah.
You know? And if she puts that out, however you want to put it out, into the media world, these people are going to see that. Your customers are going to see it. Manufacturers are going to see it. It's going to bring you closer. That's what this is all about. This is about connections.
And like anything else in life, you get what you give, right? You're going to get out what you put in. So as you move forward and you do this, you take those 5 minutes, maybe those 5 minutes turn into 10 minutes, 10 turns into 20, into an hour a week, right? And an hour a week, you'll probably start to understand exactly why you're doing it. And then you can slowly build, right? You can slowly build to the point where, you know, it's a regular thing. If you have the time then, at that point, once you can justify it, to devote to it, then do it. If not, look into bringing somebody on, because now you see the power of what it does. Make sense? Rich, give them the plan.
So this is, we just put this up because obviously this is nothing in stone. It's nothing big and crazy, elaborate thing. You just have to commit to this. This is going to be something you need to commit to and understand, again, that it's about building business. It's about bringing value to the people that are watching it. It's about uplifting an industry, because we are all in this together. You know, we want the world to know about us. We want the world to see us. I did a video. I walked onto a college campus maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know, Josh, if you saw this. And I'm asking people if they know what the food equipment service industry is. And one answer was, some guy he looked at me bewildered, and he was like, "Do you mean utensils?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, we fix spoons, that we bend them back. It's big, lucrative business." People don't know. People don't know that we're here. My friends for 20 years still don't know what I do. I mean, we have to talk about it. We have to get louder. That's how people are going to care about Sefesa. That's how the people we want to care about. When we have that logo on our website, I have that logo on my van. It means something to us, but we want to make it mean something to everyone else. We can go in there and we can sit down and we can say, hey, listen, we offer the best warranty, we offer the best service, we're a Sefesa company, or we're a certified Sefesa company. Oh, what does that mean? We want them to know. How are we going to have them know? Because everyone in this room is going to commit right now. I want to hear. Are we going to commit?
No. Are we going to commit?
Let's go. That's right. Let's get fired up in here, Josh.
Fired up.
So you start small.
No plugs, Rich.
Oh, that's right.
No plugs.
Sorry. I take it back. But you start small. You build consistency. You all have a device in your hand, in your pocket, in front of you. You all have a device. That's how we started. Let the world know what's going on in your world. Let the world know what's going on in your world.
And I'll tell you what, you know, we can even help you take that first step. Right? If this seems daunting to you, if you don't know exactly what you want to put out or how you want to start or anything like that, come on my show. Come on Rich's show. We'll do the work for you. All you have to do is hit the share button. Can you handle hitting the share button? I think so. I think so. But that's a good first step, right? And then let us quantify it for you, right? And then once you can see that, maybe it'll inspire you to start doing it yourself.
Yeah, get comfortable with it. Get comfortable behind the camera. It's not as hard as you think. It's not as scary as you think, because everyone in here has a voice. Everyone in here has knowledge. Everyone in here has experience. We just all need to see it.
And everybody in here is working toward the same cause, which is powerful stuff, right? I mean, you saw all of you standing before. That's just me and Rich. We all have a shared vision. We all have something in common. And we can all put this stuff out there and make an even bigger impact than just the two of us.
Yeah, everything that you think about in your business every day, how do we do this, how do we do that? I'm not saying all the answers are going to come through your digital branding or your marketing, but I'm going to tell you consistently over time, 365 from now, if you start today, opportunities will arise. People will come knocking on your door. You'll see things through in a different light. And I guarantee you, it might ignite even more passion in you for the industry than you ever knew you had. Because doing this has led me to having amazing conversations on the live show, on the podcast stuff that we've done, bringing us closer together. And that's what the community is all about. You know, build your own community. Start a Facebook group if you have to. Get people in there, like-minded people. Build it around your brand. Again, the people in this room, community. And the tools that we were talking before. There's ways to do these things. And I was talking with a couple of people earlier about, you know, how we put this content out. There's a lot of free stuff. You could use Canva. You could use InShot. You could use Adobe Spark. I use it every single day.
This is built on Canva.
This was built on Canva.
Just
there's
a fun
tools.
fact.
There's tools at your fingertips. And at the end of it all, when you're sitting there in front of the camera, if you want people to care, you have to bring them value. Whether you're educating them, entertaining them, making them laugh, making them cry, getting them inspired, tugging on their heartstrings, that's why they're going to come back.
Get people to care about you, and then they'll care about your business. Right?
Say that again.
Get people to care about you, and then they'll care about your business.
100%. And when you look again as Cefesta as an association who, I've been coming here since 2006, started with my father. A lot of, I was a newcomer at that point. A lot of people took me under their wing, showed me the ropes, showed me the way. Kirby was one of them, always, helping me, guiding me through. This is what we want to do. We want to blow this thing up. I sat with someone about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They said, Rich, how the hell do we get this industry to go viral? I said, well, we're in a niche industry. We're not going to, blow the masses up. But what we need to do is, together, we're a lot of people. We're a lot of people in this room. And if we're starting to put out content collectively, I can assure you that this Cefesta community is going to grow. The people in your market are going to know who you are, and they're going to care, and it's going to make your business better. And we're going to sit here one day, maybe a year from now, wherever the next conference is, and we're going to have different stories to tell. And everyone's going to get excited about digital. Just from the past day or so, a lot of questions on things. So if anyone has any questions, how many platforms are you on, Josh?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter-ish.
Not so much.
Twitter-ish.
TikTok?
I haven't made it onto TikTok yet, guys.
Yeah.
Not a good dancer. Ooh, this is good.
Well, for me, LinkedIn is gold.
Yeah.
I mean, the traction that we get there. I mean, there's some videos and things that you have hundreds of comments, 5,000, 6,000 views. So that's definitely, and I think for this entire industry, LinkedIn is where you want to be. TikTok is definitely up and coming, and we're starting to dabble in that because that's going to be important.
It is.
Thomas?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I want to answer that question. I want to jump in there real quick. I would also say that it depends on what you're looking for, right? For general business, LinkedIn has been fantastic, just like Rich said.
Amazing.
For technicians, Instagram has been good. For the next generation, we talked about this, right, Olivia, Lindsay, in the YPC meeting yesterday. For the next generation of technicians coming in, one of the ways that we can get them interested in what we do is TikTok, right? Got to put out some creative stuff on there. So it depends. I would say it depends on who you're trying to attract and which one's going to be most successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a free version, so you could get started right away, but we do have the paid version. I mean, it's great for, obviously you could do PowerPoint presentations, you could do any kind of marketing materials to brand your business. I don't know, are you using Canva? Yeah,
we use it a little bit. It's great for consistency because you'll be able to replace pictures and things like that while keeping the same background. And one of the things that we didn't get into today, because it's even a completely different conversation, is like the elements of branding, right? And how to actually take that brand and turn it into something that somebody can recognize over the course of time. So Canva is a great system for being able to get that branding down and then change the primary image or primary text or whatever overlays you put over it. So that's kind of how we use Canva.
Yeah, 100%. It helps you stay on brand, and there's a lot of professional creative stuff there already for you to just dive right into. So
yeah, push the damn button. No, I'm serious. I know it's hard, especially if you're not the type of person that goes on camera a lot. It's unnatural. It doesn't feel right. Right? It doesn't. You should have seen the first time. I mean, if you go back and look at my YouTube channel, you can find the first videos that I did. And you would almost not recognize me. You'd probably laugh thinking that I was up on stage talking to you, all of you right now, because it was bad. It was super bad. But it doesn't matter, right? And you gotta Look, I'm going to go old school here, and I'm going to say you just got to get over it. You do. You got to get over it, and because it's not all about you, right? It's all about your business. It's all about your mission. It's what you're trying to accomplish, and if your face being on camera is what's going to accomplish that, and that's what it's going to take, that's what you have to do. So, as they say, put your big boy pants on.
That's right.
and just do it. And I'm sorry if that sounds rude, kind of my personality. Not rude. Oh, geez. Next question. Great question. I'll take this one first, and then, and then you can go.
That's you.
Yeah, so it depends on what I'm doing, and it fluctuates when I'm trying new things. I started the podcast now, which is completely separate from the YouTube, right? They're different things. I started that about 1.5 years ago, and when I started it, I was spending probably a good 3 hours trying to edit one video. And then as I got better, I got that down to a system. I was able to edit it myself for about an hour. As we started to put out more content, I've focused very heavily on production quality. If you've seen any of the stuff that I put out recently, either for Blue is the New White or Windy City, it has been high quality stuff. So I have a dedicated person that will edit all of my videos and things like that now. If I was doing it myself, it'd be equivalent to about 40 hours a week. Rich, what are you at?
Yeah, I mean, right now it varies for different situations, but I mean, we definitely lock away at least 5 hours a week just for the fired ups to make sure that we're getting that content out, because that's been really, really important to what we're doing. Aside from that, we're doing different pictures, different video content. We'll choose different topics. We'll make sure that we're kind of hitting from different angles. I would say, because we used to do Tip Tuesday, we have vlog stuff, we have gold collar stuff, we have all these different things that we would pick to make sure that we're going to talk about. I would say about a good 30 to 40 hours a week.
Lisa's over here like, it's more like 70.
Maybe modest a little more.
Good question. I have an answer. You want to go first on this one?
For me, simply, I mean, we're not really pouring any money into a lot of ads. The only ads we really kind of poured money into was our 4 reasons why you want to be a technician with us, and we kind of, I would not that much, maybe $5,000 we poured into that. We saw some good traction on it, but most of it's organic. We're really just kind of pumping out so much content, like LinkedIn and Instagram. A lot of good things are kind of accumulating organically from that. Over time, as these platforms like LinkedIn, it still has really good organic growth, but that's changing. It's going to be like Facebook and Instagram soon, so we'll probably have to look into doing some more paid advertising on that. But right now, I'm really focused on the organic stuff.
Yeah, and so the angle that I take on it is, especially for the podcast, I have an hour of dialogue basically with a guest. So I have somebody, it's actually my little sister, I have her transcribe it and then post it as a blog post on the website. So that helps that SEO portion of it. So it's always top of mind, but really, it's not something that we, or at least me, it's not something that I primarily focus on. It's just something that I try to maintain, if that makes sense. And even with just trying to maintain it, the traction has been unbelievable. No, not me.
No.
I kind of took the reins on that myself, to be honest. I had my in-house guy. Him and I had sat down and gone over how to brand, what we want our image to look like, and kind of built our own roadmap internally to our success. And he's only been on with the company about 1.5 years, something like that. So before that, literally, it was just me shooting from the hip. It was just me putting out as much content as humanly possible and letting everything else just gravitate towards it. Probably would have done better with a plan, but no, I have not used an outside digital marketing company to help me. Rich?
Yeah, no, and this is kind of good for me to talk on because, talking about like why, right? Everyone has their own why, and we're talking about success. Yesterday we were talking about what's the formula for success and what does that look like, and is it subjective? I think success is subjective, and you know, I have my whys are maybe a little different than some of the people in the room, even Josh's. There's, you know, we're looking to build a media company as well, which, you know, you've seen. So we're kind of doing our own thing. We at some point we'd love to, you know, help other people. Right now we're kind of focused on ourselves internally, building that media company, so we understand exactly what we're doing before we go to market big. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons you might want to go with a digital marketing company to help you, especially in the beginning, so it could help you put a strategy together. Why not invest a little bit, especially if you're just kind of unsure? And I'm sure you could reach out to Josh and I on anything. I mean, we're always happy to help, an open book. So.
Well, we'll help. We're not super happy to do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We love all of you.
Good question.
That is a good question. No. I'm going to quote Roger here. All ships rise with the tide. I don't think that it'll become white noise. I think that it's desperately what the industry needs. And sure, I mean, everything is cyclical, and maybe one day will come where the food service equipment industry is flooded the internet and that's all you see, but I don't think so. Because really what we're
I don't think so.
really we don't want to just stay in our circle. Right? That's not what we want. You know, it's funny because I talk a lot about like the skilled trades gap and things with the skilled trades and all of that. And sometimes I think I'm gaining a whole lot of traction, except for I'm seeing the same people over and over and over again. And, you know, Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, these platforms are super smart. So they keep showing you content that you've watched in the past. So we need to find a way to break out of that, right? And to reach the masses, reach the general public, because that's the messages that we're trying to convey. You know, businesses, you know, the actual repair businesses and manufacturers and things like that, that's one thing, right? But when we're talking about getting people interested in Sefesa and this trade in particular, we got to first let them know that it actually exists. So the more that we can talk about it collectively, the higher chance we have of breaking out of our own circle and getting to those masses. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and there's power in numbers, there's power in community. You know, I don't think that it's going to be, you know, people's feeds are going to be inundated with all of us, you know, showing ovens being repaired and all these different things. But, you know, again, we want people to know what Sefesa is. We want people to care about it. The only way to do that in today's world, 2021 and beyond, is through digital. It's through the phone. I mean, no one's reading magazines and papers anymore. I mean, some people might, but where's the next generation? They're on their phone. And we've been talking about this for years. This is not new, but it's time for everybody to get more involved. And I think that's what the whole point of this is here today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason Heather asked us to talk. You know, that's the whole reason why she reached out to us to have this conversation with you guys today.
Yeah, we're seeing more video content, you know? We're seeing more things going down, and with TikTok, and I see, you know, Olivia's doing some different things, trying to get the industry involved. And I think it's time. It's time. We have to, again, press the button, get in front of the camera. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's show the world who Sefesa is. We are Sefesa.
We are Sefesa.
So, yeah, and I think this goes to self-awareness. Like you know what you want. You know, you gotta know what you're after. For me, when I was going out and I was going to market things, I wanted to build my brand as Rich Malachy, and you'll never really see me say at the end of a video, hey, make sure you go to visit our website and call us at 201-82. You know, I'm not promoting the company in that sense. I'm just talking about the things that are going on in our world. I'll talk about the things that are going on in our company. I'll show what's going on in our company. It all ties right back to Malachy Parts and Service. That's how I envision our strategies as we're putting things forth. So, do I put stuff out on Malachy Parts and Service and LinkedIn? Just, of course. But there's more of a hyper focus on what I'm doing, what our company's doing collectively, and again, that flows right back into the business because I want the same things you do. You know, I want to attract more good people. I want you know more new vans on the road and people happy and creating opportunity. You could do it your way. There's no right or wrong. So self-awareness, I think.
No, that's a good answer. And I would say this, Nick. I would say that the next generation is incredibly smart. They can discern the difference, right, between an ad and a value add. And what I mean when I say that is that when they see an ad, they keep scrolling, right? Rich said he doesn't put, hey, call us at the end of our videos, or go to the website, this and that. And that's because his main focus is delivering the information, right? And that's what appeals to that next generation, which, I know that everybody in here is trying to find ways to appeal to this next generation, especially within our trade, right, to attract people to our business. And the way that I see it is that the clean trucks and the things like that, and that's super great, right, for anybody that's looking for that. But we're trying to target the people who aren't, right, to at least educate them on what this trade means, So, there's different circumstances, different ways to use it. Like Rich said, there's nothing wrong with, what you're doing, and that's fantastic. But, when you ask the difference between a personal brand and, like a company brand, as far as, at least for me, my main focus is to try to deliver this information into the world and get people to understand and recognize, actually stop scrolling when they get to my content, my information, so I can educate them and then develop that intrigue, right? Once they have the intrigue, then they're going to go back and they're going to look at more videos. They're going to go to my website. Maybe they'll call me. Maybe they'll reach out. Maybe they'll follow me on other platforms, whatever it may be. But, that's that first initial step. Now that when they're in my circle, then I can deliver them the messages that I want them to hear. What an awesome question. Awesome question.
Yeah, no, you start.
You want me to start? Okay. So I'm going to go back to 2013 when I put out these YouTube videos, right? There's a certain people loved them, right? Restaurant owners, new technicians that were just getting into the trade. There was some people hated them, thought that I was revealing industry secrets, that I was being too transparent. If you go back and look at some of my videos, you'll see some of those comments that you're talking about. So over the last 8 years, let's just say this, I've been incredibly humbled because I've had to really choose my words wisely in responding. But yeah, like the negative comments, they definitely come. There's some people that just don't agree with what we're doing. Right. There's some people that think that they know best. And, honestly, I look at it as a challenge, right? It makes me better as a leader of my company when I can successfully navigate that type of that type of comment. So yeah, it happens. It definitely does.
Yeah, no, it happens. I try not to engage, honestly, and stuff like that. There's just a lot of people. There's people that are going to troll you. It's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know that I'm gonna piss somebody off at some point. It comes, and it's not just me. It comes with the territory to anybody putting themselves out there into the public eye. Yeah. If you're putting your opinions out there and your thoughts, be prepared. They're gonna come, and you're just gonna go like this, and not worry about them, and focus on the people that do care. Yeah. Those are the people. You don't want to worry about the 1%. They're always gonna be there. They're always gonna have something to say, something negative. I don't get it. You're silly. This is ridiculous. You're full of, So. You just got to deal with it, keep moving, stay positive, and stay focused on the prize.
And it goes back to reputation, right? You got to be mindful about what you put out there, especially when you're engaging. When you're putting out content. Look, like anything else, like any other form of advertising, like any other form of conversation, you have to make sure that you're saying the right thing, right? Because it could just as easily hurt your reputation as it could help your reputation. Right, so I know we're sitting up here talking about how you got to put this content out, and this is great, and that's because we've had several years to develop these skills and not put out things that will piss people off.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I mean, and that's
I still do.
So Rich still does, But you know, it's definitely something that you have to be mindful of, and especially in your responses to those negative comments, because they will come.
Yeah, and you know, I'm out here to I want to create positive impact, positive change. You know, there's real heart and care behind a lot of this stuff. So, you know, when people are coming at you, sometimes you gotta duck, just let them go, and keep your focus. That's it.
Couple minutes left. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've definitely, it's the trial and error thing. You know, we've scheduled things for 7 a.m. do stuff. Or if I'm awake, I'll just say, oh, I'm going to post something else. And 7 a.m., noon, all different times. I think it's for us when I go back and look at it, it really is all over the map for us.
Yeah.
When I look at the algorithms or the statistics, you know, within the app, it's really all over the place. So.
Yeah. We've used the data to try to come up with some standard days and times. You know, I talked earlier about consistency, but it does take a while to get to that point because you have to try several different times in order to see what works best for your audience. You can Google it all day long, right? And they'll say, oh, the best time to post on Instagram is this, and the best time to post on LinkedIn is this. And every single website you see will have a different answer.
Yeah.
Right? So you really just have to do it. And you have to be consistent with it, and then you have to do your own research and then come up with a schedule that works for you. But yeah, to answer your question, we do work on a schedule.
Yeah, and like for the live show, we do our best to try to do 10 a.m. Eastern every single time, so people know in their head, okay, they're going live at 10 a.m. and you know, consistency.
Yeah,
like you said, got to be consistent. Well, I know Hootsuite.
Hootsuite does.
Hootsuite does it. Yeah, you put it. You're gonna if you sign up, you'll be able to put your post in there. It'll go to Instagram, link. It'll go to all the platforms for you at whatever time you want, just like that. So you can prepare stuff for the week. You know, I know it's an investment, but maybe you're spending an hour on Saturday or something before you go out with your kids or whatever you're gonna do. Like, you know what? Let me spend an hour, put a couple of things together, schedule it for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Throw something up every day. Set it and forget it. You keep it moving, and let that drive you. Let that be consistency. Let that be the consistency you need. That's an inappropriate question. How much does this hotel cost? Yeah, no. I think it's one of those things. If you go to Indeed, you could probably, because I did this. I go to Indeed and I would look for what people are putting for descriptions for digital media or digital marketing or whatever, and I just copy what someone else was doing after I read it, I went through everything and I said, this is what I'm looking for. And I made it my own. I put my own up on Indeed, and that's how you could find Elisa. And, as far as pay rate goes, I mean, that's something, the scale could depend on where you live, depending on, qualifications, just like technicians or anything. You have to figure that out. I mean,
and you got to be clear on what you want, right? It's, if you're hiring somebody to do something once or twice a week, be part-time, could just be somebody who's familiar with social media, and can do it part-time. It's super simple stuff, I mean, Lisa and my marketing guy, they've been doing it for a long time. And for the amount of content that we're putting out, it just makes sense. But there's a scale, right? So if you're looking for a budget, like my podcast, I didn't have a budget. I spent $250, and then I did it myself for 6 months, right? And it worked well, right? $250. I used free editing software, free everything, and I was able to actually put this content out, But if you just want to get started, you can bring on somebody like an intern, or something like that to push you towards that goal. But you don't got to start out with, a full-time person and budgeting for that.